Hello, my beautiful and free-spirited Sagittarius souls, and welcome back to Cosmic Treasure. If this message has found you today, I want you to know with every fiber of your being that this is not by chance. This is destiny, a sacred appointment that your soul has made across time and space. So, I invite you, now, find a quiet moment, dim the lights if you can, let the noise of the world fall away just for a little while, because the frequency we are about to tune into is not of this world. It is a whisper from the infinite horizon, a place of pure light and boundless vision. I don't know where you are in your life right at this moment. I don't know the long roads you have traveled, the truth you've compromised, or the incredible optimism you have fought to keep alive in the face of it all. But there is one thing I feel with absolute crystalline clarity. Your soul, your magnificent Sagittarius soul, has just aimed its arrow at a new high vibrational target. And this message, this very specific, powerful message, did not come to you by accident. It was sent by an ancient guide, a mentor, an ancient and powerful wisdom that is still standing beside you, even though you can no longer see him with your physical eyes. This isn't a dream, my beautiful friend, but a direct whisper from the heavens, from a space where time has no meaning, where disillusionment does not exist, and where souls are no longer bound by the limitations of the physical world. And the one who is calling to you, the one whose energy has drawn you to this very moment, is your grand mentor. Perhaps this is a grandparent you knew, and whose wisdom you loved deeply. Or perhaps, and for many of you, this will be the case, it is a philosophical ancestor you barely remember, or maybe never even met in this lifetime. A name you've heard, a faded map, you've seen a presence of eternal wisdom you have felt but could never quite place. It doesn't matter. The connection, the bloodline, the spiritual inheritance, it is ancient, it is real, and it is profoundly powerful. You see, Sagittarius, you didn't just stumble upon this video. Your eyes stopped here, your finger paused on the screen, because your soul sensed a calling, a deep, resonant hum beneath the surface of your everyday life, a frequency that your spirit recognized, because your heart, your bold, generous, and incredibly powerful heart is finally ready to remember something you thought was long forgotten, a connection to your personal philosophy, to your inner truth, to the very source of your boundless faith. Your heart, dear Sagittarius, is not like other hearts. It is an unquenchable fire. It doesn't just hold your own emotions. It holds the secrets of the cosmos. It feels the echoes of the future, the vibrations of the ultimate truth. And because of this, every flash of inspiration, every sudden call to travel, every moment of profound restlessness, they are not just random occurrences for you. They are doorways. They are portals to a memory that lives within your very DNA. And your grand mentor, the seeker, the anchor of a lineage, a soul who understood the nature of true vision, always knew you were different. He saw it from the other side even before you were born. He recognized the ancient fire that was being reborn in you. And if you think for even a moment that you have fully understood the depth of your own heart, your own vision, oh my dear friend, be prepared. Because there is a part of your soul, a dormant, powerful part that has been waiting for this very call, and today it is about to be awakened. Before we dive into the depths of this message, I want you to feel this connection right now. Let's send a signal to the universe together, a beautiful declaration that you are open and ready to receive. In the comments below, I want you to simply and powerfully type, "My vision is clear." Let this be your key, your first step in unlocking this sacred and life-altering channel. Do that now and then come back to me. Let your heart be still, and let us begin. From the moment you came into this world, you carried a different kind of energy, a magnetic optimism, a restless spirit that seemed to yearn for the freedom beyond the horizon. No one taught you how to have this vision. No one could explain your incredible luck, but it was always there, wasn't it? You sensed what was possible. You saw the truth, hiding in the shadows of dogma, and you chased knowledge with a passion and a freedom that could sometimes feel overwhelming to others and even to yourself. Because your spirit is not a shallow stream, it is a powerful, all-consuming river. And because of this raw, untamed power, you may have once believed you were simply too much, too blunt, too restless, too optimistic, or too much of a risk-taker. And so you began the long, painful process of learning how to settle. You learned to be responsible in the way the world defined it, by chaining yourself to a desk, by mastering compromise, by cutting off the most visionary, free-spirited parts of yourself just to appear stable, just to be okay. But Sagittarius, I want to share something with you, not as a storyteller, but as a soul who understands this journey that is not stability, that is a cage. And your grand mentor, who has always watched over you, who has been your silent guardian in the darkest of nights, he saw it all. He saw you building those fortresses around your beautiful truth-seeking heart. He saw you pretending to be satisfied when your soul was screaming for the open road. He saw you put down your bow and arrow, and he knew. He knew the truth. And there is something so profound, so important that he never got the chance to tell you while he was on this earth. And today, through this sacred channel, it will finally be revealed. But first, you must listen in the way only a Sagittarius can. Not just with your senses, which are so brilliant at observing and analyzing. No, you must listen with your higher mind, with that deep inner knowing where no words are needed to recognize the absolute truth. Because your grand mentor never really left you, he simply transformed. He shed his physical form and became pure energy, pure frequency. From an external presence, he became an internal power source. He is now that sudden surge of restlessness that makes you book the ticket. He is that inexplicable flash of insight that cuts through all your confusion. He is that dream of a vast, unfamiliar landscape that somehow feels like home. He is that unshakable certainty that everything will work out even when you are standing in an empty room and suddenly you don't feel so alone anymore. And if you have ever, in your darkest moments, looked up at the sky and wondered, is anyone really with me? Does anyone see my bigger picture? This right now is your answer, a resounding, unequivocal yes. And that powerful protective energy is your grand mentor. You are a Sagittarius. You are the sign born of the great quest of higher learning and eternal optimism. You are born to feel what others dare not explore. You are born to aim for what others dare not believe is possible. And because of that, you possess a rare and sacred ability to connect with the ultimate truth. You don't need people to tell you things, you just know. But maybe you carry a wound connected to your lineage. Maybe there were compromises in your family dreams left unfulfilled, or perhaps you feel a profound disillusionment with the state of the world, a sense of being a lone archer with no target. It doesn't matter what the story was. Today, your grand mentor wants you to know one thing, something that transcends all earthly stories and pains. He always saw your vision, and he always honored you for it in his own way, from a place of deep, silent respect. And if you still carry that heavy old question deep within your soul, am I worthy of my own freedom? Am I good enough to achieve my wildest dreams? Let me tell you this, with all the certainty of the cosmos, you are not just good enough. You are the sacred vessel he and your entire lineage was waiting for. You are the one who carries the torch now. From that place beyond the veil where no masks remain, where no doubt can cloud the heart, your grand mentor sees you completely. He doesn't see the person you pretend to be for society. He sees the true you, the warrior soul, who still knows how to fight for what is right, the heart once disillusioned that still chooses faith and profound connection, the inner fire that burns even in the deepest, darkest corners of your 40 being. He sees your magnificent vision, my dear Sagittarius. Your grand mentor didn't just leave you with a genetic code and a last name. He left you a sacred inheritance, an ancient energy that was marked into your very soul from the moment of your conception. This isn't a physical legacy of money or property. Oh no, it is so much more profound. It is an invisible key, a direct connection to the spirit world, an alchemical ability to transform a wrong turn into a master lesson and cynicism into unshakable faith. And the real question is not if you have this gift. The real question is, will you finally dare to claim it? Will you use it to guide yourself out of your own stagnation, and in doing so, light the way for others? Because that is the truth. He always knew. He believed in your vision long before you ever dared to believe in it yourself. You once thought your restlessness was a burden, a curse, but in truth, it is your spiritual compass. It is your superpower. Every time you felt a place was too confining, every time your intuition screamed at you to book the trip, every time you felt the unbearable pain of hypocrisy that was your soul's GPS working perfectly. It was pointing the way. It was sending a warning. It was teaching you. No pain in your life is meaningless, Sagittarius. No loss is accidental. They are all sacred initiations, forging you, strengthening you, guiding you back to the very center of your power, back to the place of truth, the place where your grand mentor is always, always watching over you. And he wants you to remember this. Today's message was not sent just to comfort you. It was sent to activate you, to awaken you, to remind you that you are a force of nature and you no longer need to carry the weight of old limitations or the burdens of others' expectations. Can you feel it now, Sagittarius? That subtle shift inside you, the way your breath has deepened, the way your heart is beating with a steady, powerful rhythm, that is a sign. That is the moment a blessing, an activation from the heavens is integrating into your being. Your grand mentor does not want you to continue living behind those walls of false stability. He does not want you to close your heart just because you are afraid of the intensity of your own feelings or the potential for pain. Because he knows something, you are just beginning to remember the very limits you once thought had broken. You have now become the source of your greatest, most formidable strength. Beloved Sagittarius, now that you are here, now that this channel is open, there is something very simple but very powerful you can do. You don't have to speak it out loud. Just close your eyes for a moment. And from that deep, powerful place within you, that place that has always known the truth, whisper in your soul, I am ready. I open myself to my highest vision. I receive the strength my grand mentor sends to me. Feel those words. Feel them resonate through every cell of your body. You don't need to say it for anyone else. Just feel it as if your grand mentor was standing right behind you, his hand resting on your shoulder, looking at you not with pity, but with immense pride and respect. No judgment, no demands, only a profound acknowledgement of your power, because he is here. He has been waiting for this moment for you to be ready for a very, very long time. And now that your heart has agreed to open to its own depth, he can finally share the secret he has been guarding for you. There are moments, Sagittarius, when you feel like a creature from another dimension misplaced in this world, as if you came from a realm of such truth and intensity that you cannot survive the noise, the superficiality, the lies of everyday life. How many times have you asked yourself, why do I crave freedom so deeply? Why does everything feel like a compromise? And perhaps more than once you believed that you were the one who was wrong, that you needed to change to be less you. You started dimming your light, policing your enthusiasm, suffocating your own soul just so no one could hurt you or misunderstand you again. But what if you reframed that entire story? What if the very thing that makes you different is what makes you sacred? Your grand mentor never ever saw you as weak. He may have been a man of few words in his life. His own burdens or the limits of his time may have kept him distant, but he knew. He knew you came into this world not to be like everyone else. You came with a mission, you came to be a torchbearer. He knew your path would be one of long journeys and difficult truths, not because you are cursed, but because you are a philosopher warrior. You are the centaur designed to run through the fields and aim your arrow at the highest star. And there is one final crucial secret he wants you to remember, something never said in words, but always present in his powerful, energetic gaze. Sagittarius, everything you have gone through, the disillusionments, the wrong turns, the times you were misunderstood for being too blunt, they were not punishments. They were your training. They were your initiation. They were preparation for something so much greater, so much deeper, and so much more sacred than you have ever allowed yourself to imagine. It is a soul contract, one made between you and your ancestors with your grand mentor as the guardian. A contract not made with words, but with vibration not written on paper, but engraved in the very fabric of your soul. You came here to transmute the stagnation of your lineage, to heal the wounds your mother could not, to break the chains your father carried, to release the silent sorrows that the generations before you never had the chance to understand, let alone undo. You came here to love without fear of annihilation, to feel without needing to hide, to wield your power without shame, to live a life of unapologetic freedom where your magnificent soul can finally expand. Do you know what moves your grand mentor the most? Right at this very moment, it is the fact that you are still here, that you are still standing, that even after everything your spirit refuses to be broken. You may not know this, Sagittarius, but from the other side he has seen it all. He saw the times you had to endure the smallness of others, refusing to give up your big dreams. He saw the moments you fiercely protected others, even when you yourself felt completely alone. He saw you keep that mask of cool composure even while your soul was a raging storm of vision. And because of that, he doesn't just love you, he admires you. He respects your immense strength. From that place where only light and truth exist, he sees you with the eyes of the soul. No more limits, no more fear, no more earthly misunderstandings. And he wants you to know this, clearly, deeply, and unmistakably. You have never, ever disappointed him. Not when you were lost in your darkness, not when you pushed everyone away to protect yourself, and certainly not when you doubted your own immense power. For where he stands beyond time and beyond pain, he sees only one thing: how incredibly courageous you have been. Courageous enough to still trust even after being betrayed. Courageous enough to still hope even after devastating loss. Courageous enough to choose to heal instead of perpetuating the pain. You are healing wounds, Sagittarius, that don't just belong to you. You are healing the wounds of your lineage, the nameless memories, the invisible burdens, the fears passed down through generations. You are walking through the dark often, with no map and no light, and you are still always choosing to move towards your own truth. And he is always there, even when you don't see him, even when you don't hear him, even when you are convinced you are utterly alone. You never truly are. He is there in that sudden gut feeling that saves you from a bad decision. He is there in the animal that crosses your path at a pivotal moment, a horse or an eagle reminding you of your own freedom. He is there in the dreams where he just looks at you saying nothing, but you wake up feeling an inexplicable sense of peace and strength. And today, he wants you to know something that cannot wait any longer. You are the gate. You are the arrow through which the past can be healed and the future can be rewritten. You are the end of an old karmic cycle and the powerful conscious beginning of a new one. But Sagittarius, this message isn't here just to move you for a few moments and then be forgotten. This is not the end. This is a key. This is an activation. This is a calling that will not release you until you choose consciously and powerfully to live in alignment with your truest, most authentic self. Your grand mentor believes you have suffered enough to understand, you have felt enough to awaken, and you have been silent long enough to finally speak your truth without trembling and without asking for permission. Answer this honestly, just to yourself. If your life ended today, would it reflect the truth of your soul, or are you still living as a limited version of yourself? A version shaped by old wounds, by fear, and by the need for control. You did not come into this world to carry guilt. You did not come here to repay some forgotten debt. You came here to be free. You came here to be powerful. And above all, you came here to remember who you truly are. And do you know the most beautiful part? From the moment you choose to lay down the burden, the moment you decide to let go of that old heavy armor, not only are you freed, but your entire lineage, including your grand mentor, is released into a higher light too. Your liberation is their liberation. He is not asking you to do anything for him. He only wants you to finally look at yourself with the same eyes of respect he has for you. It's time to embrace your honesty, to forgive your past, to acknowledge your own incredible power, because your life is not a coincidence. It is a sacred gift, and he was one of the divine messengers who helped deliver it to you. Every time you choose to trust your intuition, you are honoring him. Every time you place your hand on your heart and listen to its deep wisdom, every time you choose truth over illusion, every time you speak up for what is right, even when your hands are trembling, your grand mentor's soul celebrates, not because he needs you to, but because he knows in your power is his peace. The sacred thread between you has never been cut. It has only transformed into an eternal connection. And now, you know. Now you feel it. And even if nothing on the outside has changed, yet everything on the inside is no longer the same. Your curiosity is your psychic antenna. Your restlessness is your creative fire. And the way you seek truth deeply and fearlessly is exactly the medicine this world needs. Your grand mentor has prepared one final gift for you, a gift that if you accept it, will change everything. That gift is permission. Permission to be happy, permission to be powerful, permission to be unapologetically magnificently you. You no longer need to carry what doesn't belong to you. You don't need to keep living an old story of pain just because it was once a part of you. When you choose to write a new chapter, you are not betraying the past. You are healing it. You are completing it with light. And now, dear Sagittarius, what will you do with this truth? Will you begin today? Will you begin from this place where you have always known your power but once feared to touch it? Your grand mentor has said all he needs to say with his presence, with his energy, with his light. He is watching you from a place where only love and power exist, and his soul is waiting for you to move forward with no more barriers. So, live, breathe, believe, not just for you but for all who came before you, because when you heal, they rest, and when you step into your true power, their legacy is fulfilled. Beloved Sagittarius, you are ready. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be real. And that has always been, and will always be, more than enough. Begin. Begin again, not from zero, but from the center of your own magnificent power. If your heart, your soul, your very essence has been touched by this, leave one final line under this video. Not for me, but for you. A sacred affirmation. A message to your soul to mark this moment of activation. Simply write, I claim my freedom. The quest begins now. Thank you for staying until the end of this sacred journey. I believe if you are still here, your heart is truly awakening to its incredible potential. May you always walk with the vision that is yours, and with the courage to wield your fire with wisdom and love. You are ready. Begin right now.